This is the plaintiff, Philip. He says his nasty neighbor, the defendant, lost his temper over a parking spot and kicked his car, damaging it. The guy also threw rotten eggs and food at his front door. This madness has to stop, and he's suing him for the $4,039.78 he's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Jude Walker. He says he did none of what he's being accused of and thinks the plaintiff staged the whole thing, then called the cops on him. He wasn't arrested. The plaintiff is a menace in the neighborhood, and he owes nothing. He's accused of losing it.
All parties, please raise your right hands. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Leon is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mr. Phillip, you're suing Mr. Walker for $4,039.78 worth of damages to your vehicle when, according to you, he got very upset at you. The two of you are neighbors, correct?
Not anymore. Jude has been evicted.
Okay. Can you tell me what happened this night?
Yes. Jude has been a persistent nuisance in the neighborhood.
Okay, Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker, I'm going to ask you to do something. You know that we can all see you, right? We can see you and hear you. So just let's try to do this in an orderly fashion. Let me ask him what happened first, and then I'll get all of your testimony right after. I just can't get it at the same time. So please don't shout out, "Don't lie." Well, I guess it's not a sports event. It's a court case. Go ahead, Mr. Phillip. What happened?
Okay, I was having dinner and watching a movie with my kids and my girlfriend, and I hear some noise outside, and it's my neighbor Jude causing problems pretty much like he did just about every night in the neighborhood.
What problems was he causing? What do you mean by that?
He was blasting music the entire night, drug overdoses, speed freak fights on the sidewalk, dog bites, threats.
Okay, what was he doing this night? You said, I looked out the window and I saw what?
I heard some yelling and screaming, and Jude was ranting like he often did. And for some reason, he had this belief that I was parked in his driveway when, in fact, he was parked in my driveway.
Wait, he felt that you had blocked him in. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he felt that your car was blocking his ability to get out, and was your car blocking his ability to get out?
No.
Okay.
Because, first of all, he was parked in my driveway.
Okay.
Which he shouldn't have been.
All right, so is that why you blocked him in? Okay, I'm asking you if you blocked him in to make a point or anything.
Nope, I didn't block him in. He had just moved his car
So what happens? You look out the window, and what do you see him doing?
I see him putting something on my the hood of my car and on my windshield. I later learned that it was mud and rocks from the backyard. And he's screaming some obscenities and doing some other stuff. And he also kicked the side of my car about 3 times, causing 2 small dents in the car.
Okay.
And he also threw garbage and compost at my front door for probably about an hour total.
So tell me what happened then. How did did you ever open the door and confront him? What happened?
Eventually the situation was getting so bad, and he was throwing heavy stuff at my door and trying to kick my door in, what it sounded like.
Oh, yeah.
And my children are starting to get a little afraid.
Okay.
And my girlfriend was not too happy.
So what happened? Did you or didn't you open the door?
Tell the truth.
I did. I opened the door.
Mr. Walker,
downstairs.
Mr. Walker, what part of my instructions are confusing? I think they're sort of clear, right?
I apologize, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Mr. Phillip. Did you ever open the door and confront Mr. Walker?
Yes, I did.
And what happened then?
Maybe I walked down the stairs, and I was carrying some pepper spray to protect me, just in case Jude tried to do anything.
Sneaky.
Sure enough, he stepped towards me with his right hand, looked like he was going to swing on me. So I quickly pepper sprayed him in the eyes and stepped back, and which seemed to slow him down a little bit. And he became a little less angry, I would say, actually, just probably because...
and was that the end of the evening's festivities? That was it?
A little while later, the police finally showed up. I think it took them about 45 minutes for the police to get there. And they took a report but declined to arrest anybody. That's what they commonly do.
Mr. Walker, let me hear your version of events. What happened?
Okay, so that night was just, okay, so when this man first, I've been at that house for 20 years. This guy's been there for about a year and a half. When he first came in, he wrecked the plumbing. So his plumbing, like I was having toilet water just leaking down into my house. And then it just was like incident after incident. So I felt like he was I know he was working. I had a converted basement space. He had a real apartment, and he was paying less rent than I was because the landlord brought him in to try to get me to move out. And then
what was the problem between you and the landlord?
He didn't think it was a good fit. The guy was jealous of me for where I stand in music. He's a jazz teacher in the East Bay, and was never made it. So he was jealous of me and my standing. And,
what is your standing?
So in music, I'm kind of embedded in the music scene here in the Bay Area, and I have been for a long time.
Was he your landlord for 20 years, or he became your landlord a year and a...
5 years ago, I got put on the lease, but I've been in that house for 20 years. It was my parents. My parents had the top flat, and I lived there with them. And then a downstairs, the downstairs converted. It's a converted basement. It's not really up to code. And to me, that was home. And this man was trying to force me out of my home.
Which man? Are you referring to Philip or okay?
Philip,
and why was
landlord.
Philip trying to force? Why was he in cahoots with your landlord?
Because the landlord was telling him to.
But why? What does Philip care? Why wouldn't Philip just mind his own business and just?
Because the landlord gave him cheap rent and was, and moving him in hopes of getting me out, and which was just.
What happened with the eviction case?
I was supposed to go to court. I could not get to court because Philip had blocked me into the driveway, and I was not able to. So I got to court 10 minutes late, and then I went back to court again, and then the judge granted me a stay of execution, so I would have had another 2 weeks to build up my case to, be able to hang on to my apartment, and because it was an illegal eviction, it should have never happened. And then at the last minute, somehow Philip was able to call, and he got another judge. It was big, at first it was a nice woman judge. She was working with me, and then she granted.
I gotcha. So let's talk about what happened that night. What happened that night?
What happened that night is there was a small oil spill on the driveway, and I had kitty litters, because you put kitty litter on top of oil spill, and it helps dry it out, right? Have you ever heard of that?
Yep.
It's So that's what I was putting a little bit of kitty litter. He comes out thinking because he's got little cameras set up, and he's always filming because he's a little pervert freak, and so he thinks I'm pouring kitty litter on the front of his car. I'm pouring kitty litter on the oil spill. He comes down. He's like, come here, and he's like always just rude. And then he has the mace hiding behind his back, and I just walk up and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And he sprays me right in the face with mace, and just. Like a sneaky, dirty, and it hurts, man. Have you ever been sprayed with mace? It hurts bad.
Had you done anything to his car?
Nothing. I poured kitty litter on the driveway, and then he said I did something to his car. His car's not worth $1,000.
So you weren't mad because his car was blocking your way or any such thing?
No, I'd basically given up on that, and I've been parking across the street.
Did you turn over the garbage cans and stuff?
None of that.
Now, this is a video that you introduced into evidence, Mr. Philip. And according to you, this is a picture of the defendant doing what? This is a video of the defendant kicking your car.
I don't see it. That's not even your car. That's my car.
You're kicking your own car?
I wasn't kicking it. I don't see.
Someone's kicking that car.
I can't see it. I can't see this.
Well, I can. I'll play it a third time, but it's pretty evident that someone is back kicking. All right.
I can't see it. I do not see it.
Okay.
I didn't see anything there.
All right, let's see this one.
And I don't see that. That's me. That's not me. That's my car.
This is interesting.
That's my car.
Which one's your car? The silver one?
The silver one is mine. Yeah.
Now, this is interesting because that first one where he's kicking it,
I don't see anybody kicking anything.
Mr. Walker, take a breath. I'm talking. Mr. Phillip, you say that you weren't blocking him, but the first thing I notice is that in this video, you're very close to that silver car that's perpendicular, and he's kicking you because you appear to be blocking him. And then in the second one, where he's standing by his car that's in there, you have moved your car and you're no longer that close to the perpendicular silver car. So clearly, your car had been blocking his way out, which you may feel you have a right to do, but you're kind of lying to me because...
No.
All right, so let's see the third video you introduced into evidence.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Okay, stop talking.
Yep, got it.
And first of all, filming your neighbors is not very
Mr.
neighborly.
Walker, stop talking.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you have all this on video, Mr. Phillip, but what you don't have on video is one of the biggest part of your expenses, which is, according to you, he was putting mud and rocks on it. So why isn't that on video if that was happening?
You know, I was trying to deal with a crisis situation.
Yeah, but you got everything else on video.
No, some of those neighbors' videos were from the neighbors, and I can assure you the car was not moved, and I think your eyes are playing tricks on you. I know you don't
Are you talking to me?
Regard that.
Were you talking to me when you said that my eyes are playing tricks on me?
Yes, the car was not moved at any point until after the police came.
Something's playing tricks on me, but I don't think it's the car. Let's talk about your pictures. This is the picture of your hood. And according to you, what this shows is that he put mud and rocks on your car because, look, you need a paint job. How old's your car?
16, 17 years old.
Mr. Walker, if I have to tell you again, I'm just going to turn you off. Mr. Phillip, answer my question. How old is your car?
Sorry, it's 13 years old. It's a 2008.
According to one of your estimates, the paint is delaminated.
Correct.
Okay. So where is the evidence that he caused this as opposed to you need a paint job?
Well, you could see the circular scratches on the paint.
Well, I'm more concerned about the delamination, like where you can see the pure metal. How did that happen?
That's not delamination. That's clear coat fading.
Yeah, had that leave. Are you implying that he did that?
No, I never said he faded the clear coat on my car. That's
okay. So how did this happen? What I'm looking at here, how did that happen? Age?
Yeah, I think so, and maybe not the best quality paint from the manufacturer.
Okay. All right. And then this is the passenger door, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And we can see a dent there, like right above where the handle is?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like the spot. All right. When you submitted your paperwork into evidence, there is a 3-page estimate from Parkside Paint and Body Shop. You only gave us page 1 and 3. Why was that?
Sorry, yeah. I just got page 2 this morning.
Know.
My apologies.
I know. I had to ask for it. Page 2 is the one that breaks down the different damage for getting you a brand new paint job and the dents. So now I have that, so I have a sense. Mr. Walker, where are you living now, Mr. Walker? Not the address. What kind of place are you living at?
I'm staying in an SRO in North Beach, a single-room occupancy in North Beach.
Okay.
And that's after no more garden, no more. It's hard for my little dog.
I know, but that's why you gotta, when someone else owns your property, you gotta have them want you to live there. Otherwise, it's up to them. That's part of the problem with renting and not owning. At the end of the day, you had your day in court because you were able to reopen it and litigate it. You just didn't have a judge who was particularly sympathetic to the things you were saying. All right.
There's a few things I may add.
Mr. Phillip, what did you want to add?
I just wanted to clarify a few things. First of all, that I've lived in this unit for almost 5 years, and I was living underneath Jude's parents, who I had a good relationship with. And when they moved out, I talked to the landlord. He said, you could start parking in the driveway. Only a few months later, Jude bought a car. He didn't even own a car this entire time. Most likely reason being he had a suspended license and a couple DUIs and didn't register.
Okay, how about you not speculate?
Man, you just
have no
love
idea.
slandering my
So don't
name,
just
don't
start
you?
throwing things out. Mr. Phillip, you're making that out of cold cloth. You have no idea if that's the case.
No, you can look up the mug shots online if you'd like.
Okay, so when you
they're
say
easy to
most
find.
likely, because you didn't introduce any evidence about that, do you have evidence that that was why he didn't have a car?
I think it's logical to assume that a person with 2 DUIs and a suspended license would probably not be a good idea for them to own a car even, right?
What year is his suspended license?
I'm not sure exactly. I think maybe 7 or 8 years, something like that.
Mr. Phillip, what else did you want to add about the value of your damages? Because my real issue with your case is the value of the damages. It's not liability. In other words, there's 2 parts to every case. You have to prove the person did you wrong, and I'm ready to rule on that. You've got him right on tape. I can see him. I have no problem seeing what's going on there. And when I say I have no problem seeing what's going on there, I mean exactly that. I see that in the first video you're blocking him. You feel that you have a right to block him because he's in your space and he shouldn't be there. And I see that you want a complete paint job for your car, even though your car needed a complete paint job before this. And the one thing you don't have on video, when you have continuous cameras, video everything, is mud and rocks. But I'm supposed to make him pay for a whole new paint job for you. Okay, I got it. I've got what's going on. Okay? Based on what I've heard, I'm ruling in your favor. Stop talking. Based on what I've heard, I'm ruling in your favor, Mr. Phillip, but not in the amount that you're suing for. I'm ruling in your favor, looking at the page 2 that I had to extract from you so that I could see the amount that is due for the damages, and understanding your argument, oh, this whole $1,800 is just for the dent, knowing that this is a 14-year-old or 13-year-old car, knowing what dents cost because I wasn't born yesterday, I am estimating the value of both the dent repair as well as the garbage that you had to clean up at $900, and I'm ordering the defendant to pay you $900.
Thanks.
So the plaintiff prevails. The defendant's going to have to give him $900. Mr. Walker, that probably stings a little bit. What are you thinking?
Oh, I think that this man is a bad man and he doesn't have any right to treat people so, and that I'm sure that, justice will be served.
Well, he won. Justice apparently is being served in his honor. He gets $900 from you. How about that?
He's a bad man, and San Francisco has a way of weeding out bad men.
Phillip, let me ask you. I know you were suing for $4,000. You certainly didn't get that. But do you think this will bring this whole thing to a close now, this lawsuit?
I hope so. Yeah, and there's no ill will towards crazy people.
All right. Well, you get $900, and that's it for the case. And it'll bring this amazing dispute to a close, hopefully.
Doug, mace can be something that is vital in self-defense, and at the same time, it can get you in trouble. To use it, there has to be some provocation and threat. If there is neither provocation or threat, and you just mace somebody, that is not only a civil wrong, it could be a criminal offense.
If my husband and boss friend had an affair, can I sue them for physical and emotional distress? And can I just sue her?
Well, why wouldn't you want to sue your husband too? And,
how is it? How is it he gets
sue that pocket and take the money out? Obviously, yes, you want to just sue her. And can you sue your husband's boss for this time?
No, it's her boss.
Her boss.
Her boss.
It's her own boss.
Yes.
Can you sue your own boss for having an affair with your husband, effectively,
yes,
or alienating your affection?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. And you could file an emotional distress claim, for example. I don't know where she gets the physical
This is America.
distress.
You can sue anybody for anything.
Right, you can do it. Now, a lot of states have an impact rule, so-called, a physical impact rule, where if you want to get damages for emotional distress in Florida, for example, you've got to show that the injuries you suffer have some kind of physical manifestation, not just, I can't sleep, or not just, it really bothers me, it's eating me up.
That's I got a better idea. Why don't you get a different job and a different husband? How about that for a plan?
Yes, yeah, I suppose that's one option. And then I like your take on it. Here's the other take. she could get what we call in Spanish dulce venganza, a little sweet vengeance.
Revenge.
She could maybe look up the husband of the boss. Look up the husband
and
of the
do
boss.
What?
You know,
tell him, ask him out,
yeah, have a little fling with him. And it's all even all around.
Yeah, it's karma.
Exactly.